I was like, man, I'm gonna have to compete for time on the court, everything. Like it was different. My junior college, it was like T's the tallest one, he's out there. You know what I mean? Not let alone from just talent. It was just like, okay, he's out there, he's tall. So yeah, that part about competing for a spot and time and stuff like that was different for me. Because coming through high school and JUCO, it had been an easy road for me thus far. So that was a challenge.
All right, man, here we are. We're in college now.
College.
What was your college experience like, and how many colleges have you attended?
So I just went to 2 colleges. Waubonsie Community College, and then I ended up going to Wilberforce University. So even before getting to Wilberforce, the way I got to Wilberforce was my last year of JUCO. I was being recruited to go to Coppin State, which is a Division I. I want to believe Coppin State is like a historically black college as well.
Yes, I've heard of Coppin, yeah.
And so the coach that was recruiting me was Travis McAvane, and he ended up not going to Coppin State. I guess he was supposed to have like a deal or contract to go and coach there. And so it fell through, and he called me and he's like, hey, I'm going over to this other school called Wilberforce University. It's like, I won't be coaching the men. I'll be coaching the women's, but I've already told the head coach about you and sent him film, this is and that, and he wants you. So I'm like, okay, what happened to Coppin State though? Every basketball player is thinking like, okay, D1. He's like, okay, well, did you get your associate's degree? And I was like a couple credits shy of my associate's degree. So he's like, yeah, well, you're not going to qualify for D1 anyway. You might as well just go go to Wilberforce. He's like, trust me, if you can play basketball, you'll go to the next level. Doesn't matter if you go D1 or not. Just don't get things misconstrued where you think, if I don't go D1, I can't go pro. So I'm like, all right. I talked it over with my family because I'm big ticket, right? So it's like, you're the ticket. We got to make sure we pick the right course of action for you to get us out of take us to the promised land. So I talked to my family like, all right, we'll go to Wilberforce. So I go to the 4-year school, Wilberforce, and that's where I met you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, little short story. The coach you mentioned, Travis McAveen, he recruited me out of California. I don't even know if you really know this. I never
knew that.
Yeah, so wow. he recruited me out of California, and I played for him in Indiana at a high school for 2 years.
Wow, get out of here.
Yeah, so I was there with him, and he was the one who put me onto Wilberforce and helped me get a scholarship over there. Yeah.
Wow.
So I had other offers and other deals with like either because my grades were good. I was getting offers from Yale, Cornell.
Oh my God.
And what else was I? Golly, at that time, Cal State Dominguez Hills.
Wow.
All of that stuff.
I'm glad you chose Wilberforce. Though.
Right. Well, the reason why I didn't choose the Ivy League, it was because it was financial aid. And at that point, I couldn't afford exactly. To really get in over there.
I could imagine.
But I was getting all those letters. Albany State too, thinking about it now back then. But that was still a good time. But Wilberforce, I went out there for a visit. Mm-hmm. And it was during the And One tour, and back then And One was the hottest. So huge. Like they were touring everywhere, and they came to Wilberforce. I never seen so many black people in one place.
Great. It's a great atmosphere,
and the atmosphere is what blew me away because I feel like, for myself personally, I've been searching for that for the longest time.
Right,
being able to have a community that I could feel a part of and people that look just like me.
Exactly.
So that's where I was really sold at. And they said they were going to take good care of me and give me a full ride scholarship. So I'm just like, yeah, I gotta go for it. Exactly. I want to see what this is about. Maybe we could be the class that we have that could change the basketball landscape around and, really make it happen. And it was really just such a great awakening and helped me really just find and discover myself, and also realize that even though we all look the same, how different we are, because we all come from different cities, different culture, different places,
different states, everywhere.
And,
yeah.
And I felt like when I was there, it just felt so awesome to embrace all of that.
I know.
And I loved it.
It's definitely one of, I actually, my road to Wilberforce was the same. I took a visit after McAvane told me the coach, saw my film and was interested. It's like, yeah, he just wants to get you down for a visit. Went down for a visit. And it was funny because on that visit, he never told me that I would be playing like in a tournament or anything like that. So I played in a tournament with a couple players that never actually came over, but like Ethan Bradshaw, he's from like Cincinnati, Ohio. Great guard, great point guard and shooting guard. But at any rate, went there, saw the campus. It was kids there. I forget, it was like an Upward Bound program. So it was almost like students were on campus, you know what I mean? Even in the summer for my visit. So that was nice because the cafeteria was open. It was almost like full blown school. And I was like, man, this is dope. Like, because I'm coming from a JUCO where you had to go to apartments. Like there was no campus. So I'm seeing all the dorms and then, being able to have easy access to going to your classes and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, this is the place for me. Because the school was like not really big, right? So it was like, I won't get lost. You know what I mean? So I was sold. I was like, all right, they're going to give me a scholarship, stuff like that. I feel like, I'm living on campus. I don't have to pay rent, which I had to pay rent in JUCO. So I'm like, yeah, this is it. I'm going to do this and, do my basketball thing and rock out. So I was sold.
Yeah, man. What a great experience, man. And now that you're here on campus, you're here at Wilberforce, you're pretty comfortable with everybody, you're finding yourself. How did you feel about the basketball that you were playing and also the teammates that you're involved with?
Man, I mean, it was very different from me coming from my junior college where like players were already picked, right? It was like, okay, now you're here. I think there was like tryouts and everything like that. It was a bunch of people there in the beginning. And I was just like, man, this is too many people. You can only dress like 15? And it was probably like 20, 30 people there. And slowly they started to drop off as we went through like conditioning and stuff like that. But yeah, it was still a shock for me. Just that environment of like competing to be on the team. So that was huge for me too. But other than that, I think it was a quick adjustment. There was other tall players there. I wasn't the tallest one there. There was Dwight Cass. There was Scott Mills. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to compete for time on the court, everything. Like it was different. In my junior college, it was like, T's the tallest one. He's out there. You know what I mean? Not let alone from just talent. It was just like, okay, he's out there. He's tall. So, yeah, that part about competing for a spot and time and stuff like that was different for me. Because coming through high school and JUCO, it had been an easy road for me thus far. So that was a challenge.
So now being at a HBCU and then like now you're dealing with the campus life and also competing on the basketball court. Mm-hmm. Was it a major adjustment for you as far as just being around all these different Black people from different parts of the country, or was that just like a seamless?
No, that was different too. So I had always like my community high school, it was all Black people, everybody that's the same growing up. We all grew up in the same community. Right. So we kind of all see each other in passing, whether it be the grocery store, out at different hangout spots or whatever. So I knew them, but, being around all Black people that came from like yourself, California, or which I had never even been to the West Coast like before, you know what I mean? Having people from, further east, New Jersey, New York,
Philadelphia,
Philly. I'm like, yo, these guys are different. Baltimore. Yeah, I'm like, all these guys are different. You know what I mean? They're using different slang.
DC, golly.
Yeah, and it's like, what? So, that was a shock for me. Because I'm like,
but what about also finding other fellow Chicagoans, if that's the word?
That was nice. Yeah, you're always going to link up with your Chicago people because we talk the same, we dress the same, that swag is there, you know what I mean? So, Crump came. We actually went to elementary school together. Christopher Crump, he was there. It was nice and refreshing to see those people. And, there's so much support in the HBCU. Once I, linked with the Chicago people, going home on vacation, like different breaks, winter breaks, stuff like that. We all carpooled. That was nice too, you know what I mean? But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
That's dope. I definitely got the same feeling when I was there with, either my LA friends or my Cali friends. Exactly. And, I've actually taken a few road trips from Ohio all the way to California twice. Wow. And I did it with teammates.
Right. Exactly.
And that was a lot of fun. Yeah. The brotherhood. I mean, yeah, exactly. Speak on that. Just the brotherhood of, your teammates and the people that mean something to you, and just being able to have that bond. What was that like? Sure. Because, we had our sororities, our fraternities on campus. They'll claim that there's a brotherhood, but don't you feel like there's even some similarities, even with basketball?
For sure. 100%. I think that, you share blood, sweat, and tears with these guys. You know what I mean? Like, so you're practicing twice a day. Sometimes our coach, if he was upset, 3 times a day, you know what I mean? And I'm to this day, I have, Gerald Acreage, G Money. We travel, go international trips together. And, I still have, friendships with David Williams, Alaska. He actually, we lived in Cincinnati together for a short stint of time. And, that friendship is just always going to be there. So anywhere I go, I like to post, hey, I'm here or I'm in town. And, you have those connections, that brotherhood. Derek Barker, who's does very well CPA, so if those connections, if you need anything, they're there for you 100% just because you played basketball with them at a university. I feel like it's definitely a lot of similarities to fraternities fraternities for sure.
Yeah, man, I love it. That WU alumni, it's very tight. That WU Wilberforce bond, it's amazing, man.
For sure.